Yeah, what's up you guys, it's your boy Shieldcoomer, and in this video we will be covering Smolderon on Mythic difficulty. This is honestly probably like the very first very difficult boss of this raid, and the first boss that actually I feel like is a real challenge to players. Depending on when your cooldowns are assigned, you'll probably want to start pre-ramping. Like if you want to have like an evangelism big ramp with all the spells prepared, you're gonna have to start a little bit before the pull timer, maybe a few seconds, or you could sacrifice maybe a cast or two. Maybe if you have more haste, because I'm actually pretty low on haste. That's kind of like my biggest issue right now. I simply have not gotten lucky with rings at all. So that's kind of like a bit of a me problem, but you know, you just kind of have to figure these things out for yourself. And as you can see, like my assignments were to basically ramp for every tank soak, which you can do if you're playing Mindbender. What I did is I did a renew ramp on the start for my evangelism ramp, and then I did the mini ramp consisting of Rupture plus Mindbender and 2 Radiances. And here we obviously had calls on Discord on who's gonna soak and when. Obviously there's a ton of different solutions here. Some people use weak auras, some people rely on raid leaders. What you do depends on your guild and stuff. I'm pretty sure people are aware of this. So I'm not gonna go too much into it. You just have to soak the orbs in a delayed, staggered fashion, because otherwise you wipe. It's basically an instant wipe. Here. So this is something that I struggled with early on in the fight, but as I progressed, I found it like more and more consistent, and that is using Mindbender on the intermission as well, and then having it back for my evangelism ramps. And you can see here how it looks. I think I used it in every single intermission. Maybe I missed one. You know, don't force it. Obviously, it's very important that you have a Shadow Fin for, Mindbender Shadow Fin for your big ramps and your mini ramps. Way more important than to just use it whenever. This fight surprisingly doesn't require like so much consistent healing, as long as you have somebody else to take care of that job. We had a Holy Paladin, we had a Mistweaver, so they were pretty much covering all these you know, empty places where, you know, the 2 discs. In this fight the other disc went Holy. I don't know why, but we decided to do that, and that ended up being the kill. But we mostly progressed this fight with 2 discs, and as you can see here, like this has been like the most challenging part of this fight for me personally, and that is like always keeping up with my globals. Sometimes you just don't, it feels like you just don't have enough time to cast everything you want to cast, and you know, for that full throughput. But you know, it wasn't the worst. I feel like I managed pretty well. Obviously dodging tornadoes is not easy, you know. I mean, it's not hard either, as long as people are positioned properly, but that's the problem. Like when you're progressing, you're probably going to be in a situation where people are not positioned properly, including yourself probably, until you figure it out. So like pre-positioning, pre-planning when to cast, these things are most important on this fight. You need to have every single cooldown, every single like button press pre-planned, and we're so global hungry on this fight if we want to maintain this like consistent Shadow Fin casting, where you get like 3 Shadow Fins per phase basically. Sorry, Mindbenders, you need to be casting like smites almost on cooldown, and I mean on cooldown, what cooldown? I meant penance on cooldown, and basically smites all the time to get your penance back. Here, am I gonna be late for the soak? No, okay, I managed to run in. So see here, like sometimes you can play it safe. You don't have to do Mind Blast before penance. You know, it all depends really on how much time you have, and this depends on how quickly you remove the heal absorbs. It's all connected. This fight is like a domino effect. When things fall behind, everything falls behind, and that has been like the biggest challenge progressing this fight as a disc. It just feels like unless I do everything perfectly, I'm just not back in time, and that is like a tall ask of someone, you know, during a prog fight. So it was really challenging. I think this might be the most challenging disc fight I have done so far. Maybe Datia or Painsmith were maybe up there, but everything else I felt like, you know, I can deal with. It's this fight in particular, it's really felt like the movement was very heavy and all of that. Anyway, let's follow here now, because this is like a Bloodlust intermission. So here you get a nice little haste bonus, and you can basically utilize that to do some extra healing and, you know, farm your Shadow Fiend a little bit more. Here I actually died. Of course,
3,
I died on a kill. Cringe. But
2.
It wasn't the worst. I basically waited for the phase to end, and then I took a combat res because I needed to take it like insta, so I'm not late for my ramp. And I was a little bit late, but it's okay. As you will see now, like,
2,
and I ended up having to do the soak, which caused me to be even more late. And then I didn't have Mindbender because I cast Mindbender and then I died with it, but it still worked out pretty fine. Like, even with this, like, the throughput was kind of enough, honestly, so kudos, you know, to the other healers picking it up. That's really good, you know, always working as a team. This is why I said, like, if you're playing double disc, and here we aren't, but when you do, you will have ramp for literally every single heal absorb, and they should really be taken care of, like, easily, because one disc will always have one mini ramp and the other one will have a big ramp for every heal absorb, and it makes it so easy. And you can also rotate like barriers. You can do one barrier on one and the other on the other, and it's basically free. And there I actually did get hit by a tornado, but it doesn't one-shot, as you can see. I mean, we are Ventus, so I do have some extra versatility, but I'm also playing pretty high versa, so I don't die. I had issue dying quite a bit on this fight, and I switched the gear around a little bit. I got like a versa ring, picked it up from the vault, from the
3,
Gnarl route. I didn't have anything better anyway, but it was with the slot, so I took it, and that kind of increased my verse quite a bit. It did kind of gimp my haste again, as I said, but yeah. As you can see here, like, obviously here you just want to send whatever you got, because I mean, after this intermission, basically the enrage begins, and you will see that in a second.
2.
This is basically still the intermission, and then he will start like channeling the what's it called, encroaching destruction, I guess is what they call this. And also, like, our warrior had to go, so by the way, keep in mind we did kill this boss without the warrior buff as well, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. It's a pretty big buff to lose, and we did it. Kudos to the team, honestly, well played. It maybe took a little bit more than we wanted, but we did get him in the end. It wasn't the cleanest kill, but it was a kill nonetheless. As you can see, it was very close. And yeah, GG's. That's basically this PoV for Smolderon Mythic. Any questions, feedback, suggestions, let me know in the comments. Shout out to my guild, HKM-TarrenMill, for doing a great job this tier. And yeah, see you on the next video, boys and girls.